Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Hockyplr coming at you. This is my red. I want you to notice this pour. And I say that because later in the video, you'll see this same beer that didn't look like this. I'll explain a little later. But first, got the new Homebrew magazine today, and for everybody out there in the community, it's a good magazine to subscribe to. I actually do subscribe to it, obviously, and I currently have a basically buy one get one subscription free. If you're interested, hit me up and I'll hook you up with a free subscription. But I wanted to say that, so I get my latest copy today, and I'm flipping through, and one of the things that they do every issue is, they call it Homebrew Nation, and it's a reader profile. And I want to say that we now have, but we have a movie star that has risen up higher than the rest of us. I speak of none other than that guy. See that guy right there? Main Brew Guy is the featured reader profile of this month. Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Guess I gotta go over here. Main Brew Guy. Yeah. And he put in his Black Rye IPA, aka Black Betty. Congrats, Main Brew Guy. Made the magazine. Cool. Alright, just not a huge update. Most of it's going to be on this how does Hockyplr do things. And you can watch the video right now. Alright, people have asked me how I force carb my kegs. And let me just say that unless you're letting something naturally carbonate, you're force carbing. It may take a while, but you're still force carbing something. If you're adding sugar to get the things going again, you're force carbing. Alright, so I do the direct CO2 method. If you've got multiple taps going, make sure you turn off all your other CO2 to those tanks, keeping the one open that you're going to be using. Now this is only water because I am not doing any beer right now. So what you want to do, go ahead and turn some CO2, and we're going to clear the air out. Okay, now that the air's out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to crank up the CO2 to 30 psi. And then, all I do is I set the tank on its side. You can hear the CO2 going through the tank. When it stops, I roll it for about 20 seconds or so, 15 to 20 seconds. Stop, let the CO2 kind of work through. Starts to slow down. Rock it again for another 15 seconds or so. And you rinse and repeat. You do that for don't know, up to about 5 minutes. Depending on how much carbonation you want in your beer. You'll have to kind of experiment with it. But that's basically all I do. Once I'm done with that, crank it back down to where I want, put my keg in the fridge, and drink. Alright. So I know it was a little short, but I hope that helped you guys understand how I carb my beers. Nothing hard, nothing difficult. I just don't have the patience. I'm not going to crank up my beer to like 30 psi for 2 or 3 days to carb it when I can do it in under 5 minutes. And it works beautifully. I just don't have the patience. I've already waited. It's like my V-Box Stout, it's still doing its thing. It's only going to get better with age. I understand that. I'm dying to try it. I'm holding on, and it is hard as hell for me to do. Alright, anyways. I want to thank everybody for coming out on Saturday for my cast. I wish I could say that I'm going to cast again, but apparently the world's going to end on Friday, and well, the mind's predicted it, so it must be true because they're still around. Anyways, so I hope everybody joins Craig Tube on his cast on Friday night, the End of the World cast, and maybe he will feel sorry for us and talk to the gods and spare the world. And if he does so, I will broadcast on Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're somewhere in the middle of the country, figure it out for yourself. I don't have time. Yeah, you'll get that kind of sarcasm. Hello. Hello. Playing some Rush in the background. Gotta love that. Little 2112. What? Congratulations to Rush for making the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Much like last year when Alice Cooper finally made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That'd be my only rant. Is why are all the good artists having to wait 30, 40 years to make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And then we have other bands that make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame way before, in my personal opinion, they deserve to be in. Not going to call any names, Nirvana, but, you know, hey, I don't have a vote, so, just saying. Yeah, so there's hockey players around. We're going to pack this show full tonight. We're drinking beer. I got a rant in. I gave you 2 how-to videos, all in one. I got to get this information out, man. The world's going to end on Friday. I have to get this out to the masses. Had a lot of good times on Saturday night. Really missed doing it the week prior. I tried to cram as much as I could into this week, this past week. And here's the only promise I'm going to make you. If I get to cast on Saturday because the world didn't end, I'm not going to fucking be prepared. Because I'm not going to prepare. I'm going to be drunk all week. Maybe even at work. And if the world ends, at least I'm going to die drunk. Sweet! So I'm not going to prepare at all for this week's cast. Much like every other fucking cast. But we're just going to wing it. And if it's there, who knows? I might read some wacky news like I did last week. I might play some old school rap from the early 80s. I might get into another 80 classic run where we play just the hits of the 80s. rock, pop, everything, rap. I don't know. I thought we had a great time. Everybody seemed to be into it. We were all over the place, playing a lot of genres of music, just having a good time, pounding a shitload of whiskey, shitload of beer. We had Christian, Clements, and Kevin Sr. on, and we did a birthday shot to Christian. His birthday was Sunday. Happy birthday again, Christian. We had that on Skype. Everybody was doing shots with him. They were all wishing him happy birthday in the chat channel. It was a kick-ass time. Really shows where this community is. And yeah, I'm provided the world doesn't end. I graduate April 8th, 2013. And yeah, I haven't been told. I'm kind of torn, so let me just throw this out there. After being in the military and doing that, serving the country, you know, the whole 9 yards, first Gulf War, getting out, doing my own thing, working, at the young age of, I don't know, geez, I was like 40, 41, 40. I decided to go back to school and finish my college degree. And provided the world does not end, that will come to fruition April 8th when I graduate with my Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering. And so here's what I pose. At 43 years of age, I know it's a huge accomplishment. It really is. I'm proud of what I've done. But I don't really necessarily feel the need to walk in graduation. Now, some history within my family, I will be the first person in my family to actually graduate college. Would you guys walk? I mean, to me it's kind of like, yeah, I did it. Now I've got all this debt. Hopefully I get a better job than what I got now that I can pay for it. Whether that job is at my current company or I have to move on. I don't know. What would you guys do? This entire time I've actually leaned more towards not walking, but it seems to mean an awful lot to my family, my immediate family, my own family that I've, you know, created, if you will. So I don't know. What's your guys' take? Anyways, enough philosophical stuff. You digging that Rush? Man, I gotta get this album, and I want to get Caressa Steel on vinyl, man. Can you imagine how awesome this would be? Woo! God, this would be kick-ass. I'd love this one. I've always loved this album. I'd love to have this one on vinyl. You know, I've seen it on vinyl, just not in very good quality. That's the problem. So, all right. Thank you for watching. If you want, subscribe. If you want to tell me I'm a dickhead, go ahead and tell me. I don't care. Let's see. Yeah, join me Saturday nights. Provided the world doesn't end. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the box with yours truly, Hockyplr. We rock. We talk beer. We talk shit. We rock some more. And most importantly, we get fucked up. And I don't mean 40 ounce fucked up, because they're pussies. I mean, we get fucked up on good shit. Peace.
You've had a hard day at work. You just want a beer. Has this ever happened to you? Over-carbonated beer all over the place? What a mess! What a waste! Don't let this happen to you. Watch Hockyplr on YouTube for helpful tips like this. First step is to make sure that you have all of your valves closed. Remove the keg from the kegerator. That is a keg of beer. Delicious beer. Next, you want to release the pressure within the keg. Now that the pressure is released in the keg, go ahead and disconnect both valves. Next, you want to take the CO2 from the in and connect it to the out. Make sure your CO2 is turned on, and then turn on your CO2 on your regulator. Let it bubble for a few seconds, then you want to release, when the bubbling stops, the CO2 that's within it. What you're doing is releasing or degassing the CO2. Let the CO2 refill the keg, degassing further. As the bubbling subsides, go ahead and re-release the gas within the keg. You want to do this 3 or 4 times depending upon how overcarbed your keg is. In this case, my keg is overcarbed. I'm going to shoot for the 3rd time. Notice you get a little discharge from the valve. This is normal. This is what we're looking for. You'll notice on the 3rd one, we get a lot of discharge, meaning the CO2 has mostly been degassed from the beer. That does not mean it's not carbonated, it just means it is not over-carbonated. Notice how much more comes out of the valve. We are now ready. Go ahead and shut your CO2 off. Release all CO2. Reconnect your connectors back to CO2 in and liquid out. Restore your keg and pour beer. Check out the final result.